Does it feel like old wounds are resurfacing? Like things from the past are coming back around again? Like you're being presented with situations or people that seem all too familiar? Well, this is your ultimate test. The ultimate test before you get the things that you desire. You've been striving for so long and fighting for so long to build and manifest the life that you want. And right when you're about to receive it, that's when the universe will come in and ask you, are you ready? My name is Angela Cleary. I'm a feminine empowerment coach. I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse, and I also offer twin flame and spiritual guidance. Throughout our healing journey, we will be tested over and over and over again. Every time we we achieve something, every time we've overcome something, every time we walk away from somebody or something, it ends up coming back around again and again and again until we learn the lesson. And that's the thing I find when we're healing, we heal in layers anyway. So you're not gonna heal something and then it disappear. It will come back around for you to heal it again. But there's a difference between having something resurface because, you have to heal it, or having something resurface because it's a test. And this is so important. Like, we've been working so hard, whether it's for your purpose path or your divine counterpart, your twin flame connection. Either one, you're literally, this is your mission on this planet, is love and purpose, and you're fighting so hard, and we've done so much work, and we wonder why we keep going around in circles. We get frustrated that we keep going around in circles, but then it can be, I've done the analogy before, like we're walking up that mountain and we cannot fucking see the peak. We just can't see it. The clouds are in the way, and like you're literally right there. The clouds are about to disappear, and you will be handed temptations from your past. You will be brought, more, some feelings will resurface from your past. Now, for example, for me, you know what I mean? Anything that you walked away from before, whether that's a romantic relationship, friendships, family members, careers, anything like that, it will all keep coming back around. This kind of temptation, see if you're ready. So for example, with the career path, your purpose path, when you find your purpose path, when you're in, doing the work and becoming in alignment with your soul, we start to realize that we can no longer work the regular jobs that we were working. It doesn't fulfill us. It actually destroys our soul. So, we're fighting with the battle within our head of doing it the way everyone else does it. We're doing something that's so off the beaten track that it's scary. It really is scary. So every so often on our journey, we will be tested. It will come back around. A job will be presented to us that looks familiar from the past, and it's like, maybe I'll go back to that. Maybe just for now, maybe for the little bit of security that I need, I'll do that instead of actually making the decision to move forward with a path. And this is the thing with growth and healing or manifestation or anything like that. We have to believe that it can happen. So if we're still in the battle of the ego, so we're still fighting with our old selves on whether to go back to a regular job or find our purpose path, there's that pull, that's that stretchy energy, wondering what do we do? Do we go back or do we go forward? So this is the ultimate test of trusting ourselves. For example, for me personally, now this can, like I mentioned the purpose path there, but say for example, relationships, you know what I mean? So if you're on the twin flame journey, you'll know what I mean. We're striving for divine love. We're doing the inner work to be ready for divine love. That's a big one. That's healing all that fucking shitty wounds. And, you're presented with this test of, do you go back to relationships that broke you? Do you go back to shitty, toxic relationships where you were abused because it's familiar, because that's all you think you deserve? Or have you healed enough to actually say to yourself, I am ready for divine love? And if you are ready for divine love and it's about to be handed to you on a plate, the universe will literally present you with somebody who looks familiar to your past, who looks like your ex, who looks like they're perfect on paper. Because your divine love doesn't look perfect on paper. It's difficult. It's hard. You know that your peer group or your family members aren't really going to approve of your twin flame straight away because they look so different. Whereas like you're getting presented with something that's easy. Oh, my mother liked this one. Sure, maybe I'll go with this. Do you know what I mean? Or something like that. It's that kind of energy. It's like you're being literally presented with this crossroads. You're like, are you ready to take this leap of faith, go after your divine purpose, to go after your divine love? Or are you going to go back and repeat another cycle? are you going to go back into your old ways? And this is the thing. This is it. You are literally being presented with an opportunity to go backwards. And, you know, I keep reading this lately and it's really triggering me. You know, I'm like, ooh. I know that the purpose path is hard. I know that the twin flame path is hard. This healing journey is so difficult. We are not only presented with trauma from this life, we're presented with trauma from past lives. So we're doing a lot of fucking healing. And it is fucking hard. But why would you go back? I have read lately people saying, I wish I could go back to sleep. What the fuck is wrong with you? I'm sorry, but Jesus Christ. Once you wake up, why would you go back to sleep? Would you... Like, my life was fucking miserable. I hit obstacle after obstacle. I was abused left, right and centre. Why would I go back to being into that unconscious state where I allow that to happen? You know what I mean? So this is what the test is. Are you really going to go back to sleep or are you going to stay awake? It's that simple. And you know what? For me lately, oh my God. Like literally, it's a hard one, right? Because I asked for answers and the answers I got were my test. So this is another one, okay? Because like, you know, you can ask the angels for answers and guidance and they will always guide you and help you. But if you're being tested, they're not going to give you the fucking answer. You're going to have to pick it yourself. For example, right? I've had a lot of stuff come up from my past of the people I walked away from. So friends and family members. And it's really painful because obviously, you know, when we walk away from people, that's one of the hardest things we do, right? And we don't walk away from them because of they're not necessarily assholes. We loved them once. They were our support network once. So there's all of that nostalgia comes up. So, you know, I'm remembering why I was friends with these people in the first place. I'm remembering all the good times I had with my dad. You know, all of this comes back up and I'm getting very emotional about it. And I'm like, you know, I'm wondering, is that emotion there for reconciliation? I'm like, is it time for me to reconcile? Am I ready to reconcile? And all of this comes up and I asked the angels, I asked them for an answer. And I was watching a movie and it was just a random movie that I started watching. I can't remember what it was now. But like, I was watching the movie and literally there was a scene about reconciliation with family members. And I was like, oh, is that my sign to reconcile? And I was like, but it doesn't feel right. It doesn't feel right. So I had to look within. I had to ask myself, you know, like the universe is kind of showing me, maybe it is time to go back. And I'm like, no. Like I'm on the verge of everything. Like I'm on my purpose path. So everything I'm doing right now is bringing in good energy for me. And it's like, you're literally like, you know, I think the thing is when it comes to friends and family members, you know, for example, right, you leave a toxic ex. Are you going to get back with that toxic ex ever? No. Are you even going to unblock them on Facebook? No. This person no longer exists. But when it comes to family and friends, it's like, it wasn't that bad, was it? They're not too bad. No, it's grand. And then you remember all the good times and you're like, maybe I let them back in my life. And it's like, no, they turn toxic as well. Do you know what I mean? You know, it's like literally saying to yourself, oh, there was good times in my narcissistic relationship, maybe I'll go back. It's like, no. So I literally got presented with the answer. I was like, I asked for the answer. The answer was, oh, you go back. And I was like, but it doesn't feel right to go back. So there's the ultimate test that I had. I asked for the answer and they gave me the wrong answer deliberately to see, would I go back or forward? And like the minute I started to kind of go, this is my test. Do you know what I mean? I'm not going back. And the minute that happened, all of the anxiety went away, all the trepidation went away, all that fear, all the emotions that had resurfaced disappeared. So I passed my test. But this is why it's so important to become so aware of what you're doing and become so aware of what's happening, because you're literally going to be presented with what looks like a sign. So on this journey, we're getting signs left, right, and center to move forward. You know, the repeating numbers, somebody's name, you know, all these kind of signs or guidances or knowings to move in this direction. But yet, when the test comes in, it feels like you're getting a sign. It feels like you're getting guidance. It feels like you're actually being pushed to do the thing that you're not supposed to do. And you're like, you know, the universe isn't doing this as a punishment. They're not turning around and going, yeah, we're going to fuck this one up. They're not doing that. They're literally saying, are you ready? And, you know, I've had many tests when it comes to my twin flame connection as well. even when I first became, where I've always been a twin flame. When I first realised I was a twin, I was presented with another narcissist. That's when I realised I was doing my repeating patterns thing. And I made the decision after attracting another narcissist. I was like, I'm not doing this again. I'm not doing it again. I'm not going back to another shitty fucking relationship. I will stay single until divine love comes into my life. And that's when I was presented with the assurance that I was a twin flame, and I was, did all the research and the healing and all that kind of stuff. And, even then, I was going through a catalyst experience. I let that go. That was another test. I was presented with my twin flame in the physical. All of the tests that I passed, I was presented straight away with the thing with the thing I desired. And this is it, so now as well, as I said, everything I've done is up-leveling me, upgrading me. And this is the ultimate test of faith and trust in yourself and your path. Because, for example, it's like asking 3D people for guidance on your spiritual journey. You know what I mean? People you've asked for advice for all your life. And then they give you advice and you're like, that advice doesn't feel right. And you question everything because you're like, their advice was always right. Why doesn't it feel right? And you actually have the ultimate, that moment to say, I choose me. I choose the truth that I feel within me. I choose my inner guidance. And that's the thing. And I don't have 3D people I ask for advice anymore. But yeah, I asked the angels for guidance this time. And the angels will never steer you wrong. They never do. But the answers I got was literally telling me to do the thing I wasn't supposed to do. So they have, they're literally there not just to give you the guidance you need, but also to test you, to see if you trust yourself. Trust how far you've come. Trust in your next steps. So if things are starting to resurface, if the wounds from the past are starting to resurface, yes, it's another layer to heal, but it's also showing you something. If you're starting to feel nostalgia for things that you walked away from, don't fall for it. Because at the end of the day, this is just showing you why you walked away. And that's the thing. I've gone through, I suppose, a few different tests when it comes to the people I've walked away from. I think that's one of my biggest ones for me anyway. And so, on and off I'll get this nostalgia. On and off the wounds will resurface. On and off I'll get the memories that I want to go back or that I should go back. And then all of a sudden, I'm bombarded with all the reasons I left. Because after I choose not to, then I'm reminded of why I can't go back, of why I left in the first place. And the same when it comes to the twin flame connection. You're going to be presented with other options. Other women are going to be trying to try with you, or other men are going to be trying it on with you, whichever, you know what I mean? Or, there's going to be people that look similar to your ex, people that look familiar, look easy in a sense. What I mean by easy is it's less difficult. Like a soulmate connection is going to be easier than a twin flame connection anyway. But you're going to be presented with all these kind of things that will actually kind of go, maybe this is easier. Maybe I won't bother with the other thing. Maybe I'll just go back here. This is all the ways the universe is going to try and see, are you ready? And that's a fact. You know what I mean? And it's like in anything, whether it's your purpose path or your twin flame connection, it is that test of faith, because you do not see the path ahead of you. You don't. You have to trust that path. And, familiarity can be very tempting. Comfort zone can be very tempting. Going back to your old ways, I don't know why is that tempting. No, it's not. As I said, I've seen people saying that they wish they could go back to sleep. Oh my God, I don't believe in violence, but that person needs a slap. I'm sorry. Why would you go back to your miserable existence when you've come so far? You didn't come this far to just come this far. It's that simple. You know what I mean? Really, when you wake up even a little bit, you start to feel that itch in a sense. It's like there's more to this planet, there's more to this world, there's more to my existence. Why the fuck would you go back and live like a fucking monkey or a fucking sheep walking off the cliff? Why would you go backwards? Why would you delay your your biggest manifestations, the life of your desires, the life of your dreams. Why would you do that? You know, and you're stronger than that. You've gone so far, so you've come so far already. Why would you go back to old ways? Is it really that much easier? It's not. People think it's easier to go back and do nothing. It's not. I know it's hard to do the work. I know it's hard to do the healing, but it's harder not to. It really is. Going backwards is not an option. You're going forwards, and you're strong enough to pass these tests. But just understand, these tests might come disguised as signs, and that's the moment you have to trust in yourself. You know, and that's another energy I got this week as well. Was I was in this isolation mode this week, where I was kind of, you know, I wanted some time to myself. I needed some time to myself, and I needed that time to myself to have no distractions and to trust my inner guidance. So give yourself a moment to pause, give yourself a moment of reflection, and ask yourself, what is right for you in this moment? What are you ready for? Grab your future with both hands, because it's here for you now. And you cannot go backwards. You're ready to pass these tests. So anything that looks familiar or looks like your past, don't go back. Any nostalgia you feel, that's just a test as well. It's time for you to release all that stuff once and for all. You're ready to step into your new life. You're ready to step into your future. So thank you so much for listening today, and I really hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share, and please subscribe to my channel so I can reach as many people as possible. And if you'd like help on your journey, please book me for a free discovery call today, and there's nothing more than to help you in your path. Also, I'm hosting a workshop, a feminine empowerment workshop, on the 15th of October at 6 p.m. Ireland UK time, for women to connect, heal, and grow together. And if you want any information on that, just comment below. And also, I have a new channel called Aligning with Angie, where I'll be sharing a guided meditation every week. The information for that is in the description box.